Hello, Zemalf here, and this is the Beginner's Guide to Dwarf Fortress, a tutorial series where I will build an example fortress showing how to build your fortress and how to help your dwarves survive. And in the previous part, the part 5, we got started, we got the initial fortress set out, some stockpiles, got the items and dwarves to safety inside, and this part 6 of the series I'll be building workshops, making some traps to make the fortress more secure, and start making some food and alcohol for the dwarves as they so badly need those things. Okay, but as I mentioned, I want to make a carpenter's workshop so I can create beds. As soon as my miners dig down and I will get stone, I also want to create mason's workshop and mechanics workshops to start making furniture with the mason's workshop and mechanisms with the mechanics, so I can make some initial traps here in my corridor to keep it secure. But to build a workshop, I'm doing building, so B, and then from here workshops, W, and from here I will find carpenters, C. So I'm basically pressing B buildings, W workshops, C for carpenter, BWC, with a kind of keyboard shortcut for this. I want the carpenter's workshop to be close to the wood stockpile because it uses the wood as the materials. This is not the final place for carpenters, but I want it to be here for now. So I'm placing it there. And for now I don't have any materials apart from the logs and the 3 stones I brought with me, but I won't be using those stones for this, so I will just use one of these logs that are nearby. We can see from the distance how close this material is to us and how many there is. And when I assign this to it, the building will begin. If I press Q for looking at the workshop settings, I need that this carpenter's workshop is currently inactive and it needs the someone with carpentry labor to come and do this. So resuming the game, let's see if someone takes that job. No, they are currently pen and pasturing a large animal, drinking, things like that. Okay, this water buffalo cow has already been taken into this area, and now looks like the horse is getting there as well. There we go. Looks like the horse and water buffalo cow kind of knew that they'd be going there, and the other animals are here inside. So now with F1 here in the wagon, there's no one hanging out here. They are drinking there because not everything has been brought inside just yet. When the wagon is empty, I will take it down, getting the raw materials from the wagon, 3 logs. Carpenter is busy storing items, so not yet taken that job to build the workshop. The miners are mining down, and now here we have stone. We have an obsidian level here. Okay. Below we have more obsidian. I hope I don't dig into a volcano or cavern. You have struck Galena. We get announcements when we mine into some valuable or useful stones. We can see here that we have indeed Galena here. Galena is one ore. It can be smelted into ore. There's a possibility for silver from that, I believe. Okay, so we didn't run into anything dangerous. I don't want to go too deep just yet, so we now have a central staircase going down from this level. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 levels now in our fortress. And I want to start making those workshops. Looks like the carpenter actually now already finished this one. So pressing Q, I'm coming here to look at it. I'm adding new task, and I want to create beds for my dwarves. I can move with plus and minus in my numpad, or I can press that shortcut key if it is available, so B. So if I come from this screen, I press Q, find the carpenter's workshop, add new task, press B. Constructing bed. Add bed. I will make 8 beds for now. And while at it, I will build some other useful items. For our defense, I will already build wooden cage. Now, if only I can find it. There we go, wooden cage. And just in case someone gets injured, I will create a bucket, because if someone is injured, well, that's actually getting way ahead of this, but anyway, a bucket is used to for storing certain items, but also to bring water to whoever can't get drink by himself or herself. Right, but now with those things aside, the carpenter should go into that one and start creating those beds. There he is. So at the moment we can see that the topmost construct bed task is active, and we can see that the carpenter is on that job. If we use the V key and go look at no, not that, sorry one, it's K. We can look at this carpenter's workshop. No, I'm messing my controls here, my bad. I can't even remember how to play this game anymore. Never mind. Let's let him do his job, and let's just ignore that. I didn't say anything. Okay, but the miners have done their job, so I want to start digging out here in one of these levels with stone. I want to let that mason. Whoa. Farmer cancel store item in stockpile interrupted by king snake. Okay, here's what I meant. I wasn't paying attention to my unit list, but luckily no one got hurt before this happened. So let's take a look at the king snake. This one is more dangerous one. Okay, so this king snake is not poisonous according to this description. However, the dwarves are afraid of it. Even more reason for me to take everything inside. Unfortunately, the dwarves can see the snake from here in the wagon, and they are afraid of it. I will need to keep an eye on that snake and see if it comes hostile. I didn't bring any military dwarves with me. That's sometimes a mistake, and it might be costly here if that king snake proves to be a dangerous one. If it does, I will take everyone inside, cancel all those stockpile things, and make sure that they don't go outside. Let's see how that goes. I was assigning things to be mined out, so let's do that. In here, let's mine out this room. That should be good for starters. Yeah, that should do it. Let's do the same thing here below. That should do it for the moment. Okay, let's keep an eye on that snake. Okay, it is moving fast. It's moving to the northeast. It is not interested in the dwarves, luckily, but it is moving randomly. My hunting dog would probably take that down. If I had several war dogs, those could also protect my dwarves from that. But we'll see how it goes. I will designate one more level to be dug down here. So let's just see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make it a 7. I will make my initial bedroom here. Dwarves like to sleep in the deep underground. There's also porcupine here, not worried about that. Take a look at the map. Okay, the king snake is up there in the north. Yeah, it is not aggressive creature. It is hostile. It would attack my dwarves if they went close by, but it is not dangerous to me. The porcupine is down south. It is not nearly as it is a small rodent. My dwarves might get scared of it, but they wouldn't have any trouble dealing with it, at least early on. Things start to move faster and faster as things are moving on. I have mined things out as I wanted. This level here is getting mined out, and room here is also ready. So I'm ready to set out my farms, because I don't want my farmers to be just storing items in stockpile. I want them to be farming, and also because they double as cook and brewer, I want them to go through all those raw materials I brought with me and make them into booze, and that milk into cheese, and then turn all those cheese and milk into cheese, milk and meat into lavish meals. So let's set our food processing area here. First, let's also do I want to dig out? Well, I might move these a bit later, so wouldn't worry about it. Let's make it there, and I will put my farms here. Building workshops, still pressing L. And from this, I didn't mention this when I was placing the carpenter's workshop. Here, these light green X's are squares that dwarves can move through, and then that dark green X is something that is blocked. There's something there that the dwarves can't walk through. Each workshop is different, so you might want to consider the placement of these based on the blocked squares. So still goes well into a kind of top left corner of things, so placing it there. And now that I have some stone, I will use that to create all these workshops. So obsidian, and then kitchen, which is Z. And we can see that the blocked squares are there on the top right corner, so that goes well into a top right corner of a room. And again, using obsidian. So that is that, and I also want to create farmer's workshop, because that is needed for cheese making. Farmer's workshop is W, yes. Okay, so again I could move down here, or I can just press W. So farmer's workshop, and the blocked squares are on the bottom left, so maybe this square. It doesn't really matter if it's here. Dwarves can still come here and get to the center, but because at the center square is where the job is usually done. Let's place it there. That'll be fine. Do I need something else? No, that is it. And now these workshops. This one requires any workshop farming, so the plant processing or cheese making will get this done. This one requires brewing or plant gathering, so someone with that labor will come and prepare this shop. And then the kitchen requires cooking, so the cook will come and build this one. Sometimes, and some workshops require building designing, and then anyone with building designing labor will come and do that. In my case, the mason, because he has that one enabled. While I've been doing this, the carpenter has been doing the beds, but the bedroom below is not done yet, so I will wait a bit. We still have 0 idlers. Things are being carried inside. The unit list, the king snake is in the northeast corner. If I'm lucky, that king snake might even leave. And since I have my fortress now here, I will set a new shortcut here. I don't need the wagon anymore. So I will set this one to be my entrance. So capital H. And then I will change the name. Entrance. And then I will press Z here with F1. So now F1 has been set to this square. And then let's take the capital H again. Go to F1, F2, and let's make it here. Maybe here. Let's change the name. Main staircase. Okay, let's put a staircase and zoom here. So now that is set here. If I go anywhere here, entrance, main staircase, and I could make maybe a dining hall or bedroom will be here. I could make a shortcut for that and so on. Moving fast through the fortress. We can see that the farmer's workshop is done. The still is being prepared, and I think the kitchen is done as well. No, that's waiting. Okay. In the part 4, I already set the kitchen settings. I set out that the booze should not be used for cooking, and the plump helmets should not be used cooking, but for brewing. So how I will start here? I want all that milk to be processed into cheese. So I'm assigning make cheese task here, and I'm using repeat order. So I will make that order that as long as there's milk available, someone with cheese making labor will keep doing cheese. So that is there. And that will start to free up some items here from the stockpile. We can already see that some of them actually were eating already. But so I want to make those meals as soon as possible and brew those plump helmets into booze. Below here I have some room already. So I will build a workshop M for masons. And I will place it there from obsidian. And this workshop requires masonry, so my other miner who is the mason will get around that when he has the time. I will also build a mechanics workshop there. Mason and mechanics workshop use stone as the resources. So now that I have started digging here, I'm getting stone and start making stone things. More skilled dwarf will leave more stones behind. That unskilled mason who is just training to be a miner, he's digging through that stone, but he's not leaving any stone behind. But he's training here as we go on. But okay, let's build that mechanics workshop. So build workshop W and T for mechanic, kind of a tinkering, if you will. I might want to place it on this side because of that. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's make it there. And from obsidian. I wanted to make the mechanics workshop because my expedition leader, who's the mechanic, wasn't doing anything. So I want him to start doing stuff. So I will make him a new task to create rock mechanisms. I will create one full list of them, about 10. Those can be later used into making traps. My carpenter is probably done with making most of the things, so I will here make a couple of more cages. And then start making other wooden items, so buckets. I want also to make some Well, actually, I don't need anything else right now. Let's make couple of buckets and then a couple of cages. I might put the cages on repeat for a while, but that should do it. I want to put traps in that entrance corridor to make us safe. And let's see. The mechanic is there. Eventually I might want to make a stone stockpile around this workshop so that unbusy dwarves would haul stone for this mechanic, so he doesn't have to move and run around all over the fortress to get stone. And the same thing for the mason, but I'm keeping it there for now. These fellows have actually found some gems here. There are some opals here. Those could be cut into more valuable gems if I'd like, if I could. But I don't have any skilled gem cutters, or I don't want to do it just yet. The woodcutter, okay, he's cutting down trees. Is the cheese making progressing? Yes, it is. Good. I think I could slowly start making some booze, but for that I want all the plants that are used to make booze be next to my brewery. So I'm taking the food stockpile and I'm placing it here. I'm not going to make this too big, but something like that maybe. And I will go into the settings. I will first press U to take out the prepared food. I don't want meat to be here, so I'm forbidding meat, forbidding fish, forbidding eggs, keeping all the plants. So only thing here are the plants that are mostly used into making booze. So they are now close to the still. And the same way, both the kitchen and the brewery require empty barrels. So I will create a stockpile for furniture, which is where the barrels are, and make a stockpile here between them for empty barrels, again so that the brewer or the cook don't have to run around the fortress looking for items. Here I will forbid everything from the types, and then I will go down and find large pots and food storage. Those are stone barrels, if you will, and then barrels. So now this stockpile will have nothing but barrels and large pots in it. And of course, so that they are not stored here in this stockpile, I will go here and change some settings. Plants should not go here. And in the same way, from the furniture, the large, oops, not that one, permit types, large pots and barrels should not be stored here. The filled barrels will still be here, but the empty ones will be taken next to the still and kitchen. There we go. I designated a bit too much for my miners to dig. I wanted this room to be cut out so I could create my farm, but in another way it is fine because my farmer or cheesemaker cook is busy making cheese, and as soon as I enable here brewing, the brewer will be busy making booze. I can see that there is a gate there and there are some mechanisms there, so I will build my first trap. This will stop any hostile, possibly stop a hostile animal or creature, goblin for example, getting into my fortress. So I'm building with B, and from here there are traps and levers with capital T. So I'm choosing that, and then I'm choosing a cage trap, so C. This requires both a cage and a mechanism, so I will place it here. Choose obsidian mechanism that the mechanic created, and then it automatically will use an empty cage for that after the trap is done. You can build the trap from just mechanism alone. So I will create another cage trap and place it there. In between I will create another kind of trap. More about that in just a second. So there we go. And then I will create a stone fall trap. That is actually something that will damage anyone who's getting inside. So let's put that there in the middle. It won't do much damage, but it will do something. So let's put that there. And as a last bit of security, I want an animal to be there at my entrance, because animals can spot thieves and ambushers before the dwarves do. So I'm doing this with a little bit of zone. I will put here zone that is 1 wide and make it pen and pasture, and with capital H I will put my hunting dog there. Chances are, if an hostile creature comes in, this dog will die, but I'm okay with that. I'm want to find out if something is coming inside before that someone puts a dagger in one of my dwarves' eyes. So that is that. Someone will take the hunting dog into that square. And yeah, they are eating, they are sleeping. So even that I had the beds done, I didn't place those beds fast enough, unfortunately. I should have done that. I will temporarily place them here in this one. So the dwarves will find a place to sleep in. I will move these below later on. 5 should be enough for now. And now that I built those beds there, I was able to do that because there are beds that the carpenter created earlier. And here we can see that my dwarves are sleeping on the floor. That won't make them particularly happy. It's not a disaster, but I would have liked to have those beds placed down. That was a bit mess up from me. I should have just placed them here, but instead I was waiting for the bottom floor to be done. And there we can see that some empty barrels are coming in here. Not only it's good for productivity that the stockpile is there next to still and kitchen, but it also gives me, the player, a visual indicator that there are empty barrels available, so I can now assign something to be done at the still and kitchen. So brew drink, and I will put this on repeat. And at the moment the only brewable plants I have are the plump helmets I brought with me. Taking a look at the announcements, there's nothing here. This is the old one, the interrupted by the king snake. Okay, there's a rattlesnake now, coming down from the southern corner, and this one is a poisonous one. I hope this keeps away from us. I did bring the crossbow, but I didn't bring anyone who is skilled enough to use it. We'll see what that rattlesnake does. Okay, let's come back here. And my brewer is there starting to make some dwarven wine from the plump helmets. He has to walk a distance for now, because the items are still back in the wagon. Oh, someone is sleeping outside. Yeah, there's so many things to be carried inside that the dwarves have in almost 2 months. Have not been able to do that just yet. And now the miners come here, start mining this area out. So I can place my farms there, farm plots. And the beds are being placed. Without any assigning, the dwarves now know that there's a bed there, then they have a place to sleep. They will happily go get it. If I'd make a room out of the bed, then the dwarf could claim it for themselves, but I don't want that to be done just yet. And a lot of things happening. I want my mason to stop mining. He has already leveled up to be what skill level is that? That is talented. Anyway, I will now disable it. The mason will now only be a mason and a stone detailer, no longer mining. He will drop his pick and focus on mason tasks. That is because I want to create some tables and chairs for the dwarves to sit in, for dining hall and some offices. So let's go to the mason's workshop, which is still inactive because the mason has been busy doing mining. The mechanic is busy creating mechanisms, so the traps have not yet been built, but and he has some other things in mind as well, like taking refuse outside. Soon the wagon will be empty. I brought so many of those one-off meats inside or with me that there are a whole lot of barrels. Soon I will create my farms. I will start creating those stone furniture. As soon as the cheese making is done, I will start creating food. And I already got the announcement that there are no distillable items, so all plump helmets have now been turned into booze. In my status screen, I don't see the exact amounts because I don't have a record keeper yet. That'll follow up soon. No rush with that. And we now have a stone fall trap there. That will stop an enemy. It won't stop thieves necessarily because they can bypass traps, but I have something there now to do some damage. And if a thief comes here, he will run into my hunting dog, get scared and run away. And when he's running away, he might get caught in my gates trap or the stonefall trap. And I will fill up this corridor with traps even when it's free wide. And this is good for beginners to use a whole lot of traps. That will make things safe, but a word of warning about that. It can and will eventually make the game a bit boring if you make things too safe. But don't worry about that early on. Just use traps hell of a lot. Especially the gates traps. They are slightly overpowered because they can potentially stop anything in the game, no matter how large it is. And that concludes this part 6 of the tutorial series. And we'll be continuing into part 7 with this same session. We'll be building some farms and start farming. We'll also prepare the entrance and start building a drawbridge there to make the place even more secure. And there'll also be a whole lot more there. So I'll see you in the next part in just a moment.